What's going on, people? What's going on? It's yours truly. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm here to you on a Friday night. Just glad to be home safely. Just glad to be, able to live stream and do what it is that I do. But this conversation is brought to you by other conversations that I was having about basically people giving back to you what you give them. And the question is, does it happen? You know, is it something you should be concerned about? Is it something you should worry about? And the reality is, not everybody always gives back to you what you give to them. And truthfully, you shouldn't really worry about it. What's going on? To people coming through the chat. What's going on, Marcy? What's going on, Cheryl? I appreciate you for coming through. All things beauty. What's going on? I see you. Um, Realistically, I think too many people get caught up in like basically what we give to other people sometimes. The reality is, folks are not going to give you back what you give them. If you find a few, you know that do, then that's good. That's great. Sometimes people will give you back, what you give them. Is far and few in between. Sometimes people may exceed that. They'll repay you more than what you can. What's up, Smith's family videos and vlogs? Appreciate you for coming through to the live stream. This is basically about conversations that I've been having with other people about reciprocation, what people get back. What's going on, Brooklyn Babe? I appreciate you for coming through to my live stream. It's an honor and a privilege to have you as well as everybody else that's here in this live stream. And the reality is, a lot of times in life, we may not always give folks back what they give us, and vice versa. And the reality is sometimes the things that people were given off of ulterior motives or different means, or sometimes people were given the stuff we really don't need, be it, money for ulterior motives or favors for special favors in return. You can use your imagination with that. But my thing is that it's about where you come from your heart. If you give from your heart to people and you support them and you're kind to them and you just want to have a real interaction with them, then I think that's really all this is about. And thank you for the thumbs up for the person that gave me the thumbs up. Don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm saying, if you just want to support me. And again, Brooklyn Babe, I appreciate you and whatnot. I think sometimes we're focused too much on, you know, people trying to return favors that we give them, as opposed to, us doing it because it's from the heart. Thank you, Michael Skeen, for coming through. I appreciate you for coming through to the live stream. Sometimes we get caught up in what we do for other people as opposed to where we're coming from. Sometimes we can be in the wrong place when we're trying to do things for people because we have particular ulterior motives and things of that nature. And thank you for all the people that stopped by the live stream, that left, because I appreciate you. I know you probably couldn't stay or whatever the case may be, but thanks for stopping by as well anyway. And I'm just saying this this live stream or having this conversation right with you right quick because I have people that come to me, various times and talk about, well, they, get, I guess, bitter because, they may have given to people, different things in their life and it doesn't come back to them the way that it's supposed to or the way that they feel that it should. And the reality is sometimes we give to people who may be selfish or give to people who may not see things, the way that we see things. Sometimes people are users, and that happens too. Sometimes we're not really looking at, the favors that we do for people, as far as, how people, they deal with their loved ones, their family and whatnot. We may look at things and say, okay, just because I gave a person something or just because I supported somebody, they're going to support me. And, that's a naive way of thinking about it. The reality is that people will support who they want to support. People will stand by who they want to stand by for various reasons. And it's not for us to, worry about that and get all bent out of shape when people don't, reciprocate. The thing is, what were you giving for? Where was your heart when you gave? Where was your heart when you supported? Where was your heart when, you reached out to a person and you were there for them? Were you then sincerely, regardless of what they may have given you in return? And sometimes we find out a lot about ourselves, when we start looking at the motives for why we give to people. Sometimes we give to people for ulterior motives and reasons that we may not like to think about or talk about. But, it comes to a point where, let's not get all bent out of shape about, supporting somebody and not receiving back in return. Now, if you go above and beyond and do things outside of your means to support people, then that's what it is. Free stick your hands, give me the money, thumbnail. Yeah, no, you're not getting the thumbnail. It's all good though. Hey, what's up, Melody? I like giving you my money, but I appreciate that. That was funny. Nah. You're not giving my money, Sky. I appreciate that though. But a lot of times, we get bent out of shape sometimes because, you say, well, I went out of my way, I supported that person, I was there for that person no matter what. And, then you turn back around and the favors don't add up in his return. But you have to ask yourself, who told you to stick your neck out there? Who told you to put yourself out there on the line? Who told you to go above and beyond for that particular situations? You can't really put expectations on others. But to be honest, Cheryl, we do. We do put expectations on other people. We do, have unrealistic things that we want back from some people. Miss Chicken, stopping by to show some love and support. Appreciate you, Miss Chicken. I will stop by and show some support to you as well when I get the time. And what's going on, Marie? I appreciate you. Some people have good hearts. I agree with you, Michael Skeen. Some people have good hearts, but the reality is not all. And sometimes we give, too much of ourselves to people, without letting them earn it. It's like somebody old timer had to tell me. Sometimes we give, and we give to people who haven't earned our trust, our love, who haven't earned their way into our lives. They may have had a couple of interactions with us, but we don't really build up that trust, that rapport with the person. And then we give them things expecting it back in return. And then you come to find out who people are when it's time to really receive favors or receive help in return. Let me go back to that other comment that Cheryl was saying. No, I know we do it. It just never works out evenly, so not to be expected. Yeah, Cheryl, I mean, we do put expectations on people, but it's important to see, who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with somebody who told you, look, that's not how, I get down, and I don't do a favor for a favor. Don't put yourself out there. What up, Backwards Raised? It's going good. I'm just talking about what you give. I'm talking about the favors people receive in return, the expectations that we put on others. Cheryl says, I agree. I don't think we just give randomly to anyone. But see, that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes people give their love away or, give their money away or their resources away just to get, support in return or just to have friends or whatever the case may be. How's my night going, Marie? My night's going all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad to be home. Just doing a live stream right quick. Just talking to the people about some things that was on my mind. What's going on, Yas Poet? I know you just stopping by for a little bit, but you have a blessed weekend as well. I appreciate you for coming through. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that's coming through. And definitely I'm going to return the love to you, in return, for you supporting my live stream, but just because that's what I want to do. I say to people, when you give to folks, when you support folks, support people because that's what you want to do. Support folks because that's what's in your heart. Support people because, you know what, you want to be there for them. As far as having an ulterior motive and expecting things in return, it's like Cheryl was saying, you mess yourself up. You kind of, have, yourself out there expecting, this outward love and support and the same support that you give folks. You're not always going to get it, This is my first live stream with you. Happy to be here. Nah, happy to have you here, Cheryl. Definitely. What's up, Grizz? Thank you for coming through, Grizz. What's up, Soul? Thank you for coming through as well. I'm definitely appreciating you folks coming through. What's going on, George Romo? Good evening to you as well. Happy Veterans Day to you. Is it 12 o'clock yet? No, not yet. But happy Veterans Day to you as well. I'm saying, if you're a veteran, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. I'll probably throw out another video for Veterans Day as well, too. And to talk about our veterans, what's on my mind, I'm just talking about what people give, what they receive in return. Sometimes, the veterans out there don't receive in return what they give, the ultimate sacrifice for the country and stuff like that. And they may not receive, the love and support in return, and that's a shame too, especially with Veterans Day coming up, to, all our soldiers out there and people who made the sacrifice for their country and, for just, their families, for freedom and all that, all the other things that comes with being an American and stuff like that. So folks may not always get in return what they gave for the country, so, like I said, it's just, yeah, it's rough. Hey, what's going on, Justice Hamburgs? Thanks for coming back. But like I said, it's just about where you come from in your heart, as far as when you're dealing with people, because we're not always going to get what we give out to folks. People may not always appreciate your effort and your contribution to their life. They may not understand it. They may not want to understand it. In my book, expectations are downer. Therefore, I have no expectations, Grizz. That's what Grizz says. Well, I disagree with you a little. I say you can have expectations, but the thing is not to put too much stock in them and hold people to them and hold people to the flame. If you did something on your own, out of your own will, in your heart. Now, if you gave somebody something and they're supposed to repay you back and they don't repay you back, that's a whole different issue right there. But what I mean by giving people things, but giving from your heart, just doing favors and showing support to them in different things that they do. If you don't receive that in return, don't beat yourself up. Don't get all but hurt about it. Don't cry, don't whine, don't moan about it. Move on. Be grateful. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is just like, do what you do from the heart. Yeah, Marie. Definitely. My thing is, if you're gonna do something for somebody, if you're gonna support somebody, if you're gonna be there for a person, be there because you truly want to be there. Be there because you're not really looking for anything in return or have any ulterior motives. Be there because you want to do the right thing for that person. Don't put the expectations on people to try to, reciprocate, especially if that's not who they are. I'm doing this. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully your hand is feeling better backwards raised, but yeah, because I have a couple of people that I've been speaking to online, offline, who are worried about, the support that they give people and not receiving the support in return. The reality is everybody is not built like that. Everybody's not prepared. Hey, what's going on, Llama Monster? Thanks for coming through. Everybody's not prepared to be, you know, that giving and open and back and forth with that and stuff like that. So, like I said, make sure you're coming from the right place. Cheryl says, here's what I've been learning through life. I surround myself with people I love, support. Today, I think it's a part of eliminating toxic people out of your life. Inner circles does this. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. If you have toxic people and users and stuff like that in your life, you don't want to keep those folks in your life. You want to separate yourself from them and move from them because you're definitely not going to get back in return what you gave them. I agree with you on that. And Soul says, someone once told me that when you do something for someone, consider it going service with a happy heart. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I've lent money to people and never received it back. I've given people my time and, it hasn't been given back in return. I've supported people and done things. And you can get caught up in not receiving it back in return. But the question is, did you do it for you or did you do it for them because they needed it, because it was the right thing to do? And sometimes we get caught up in, getting stuff back in return and getting caught up in our ego and stuff like that. And you don't want to do that because you wind up putting yourself in a bad way. Then it's not really genuine. It's not from the heart. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Me and my brother do have a mutual exchange and whatnot with different things. We have our issues with each other, but I still love my man. He's good. He's cool. Soul says I get that. Okay, completely. It's all good. But yeah, nah, I'm just basically saying like don't get bent out of shape. And don't get me wrong. What's up, Charms? I see you. Don't get me wrong. When you give to people and when you have expectations, when you have certain things that that you expect back from people and it doesn't come your way. Hey, what's going on, Granny Monster? It can be frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, it can be frustrating. And you feel your emotions and you go through your things and stuff happens and whatnot. But the reality is not to stay stuck there. You move on, and then just be grateful to the fact that you were somebody that was able to be there in a time of need. And if you do have people who return the favor, like and in kind, then be grateful for those folks. Yes, I've been down there. I still do it to this day, expecting anything turn. It happens. It happens. Not sometimes it's like that. I'm cooking late. I'm surprised you up, Granny Monster, but thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Appreciate all 16 of you and the thumbs up and everything. When I do it, I do because I want to. Not definitely. If you do it because you want to, just us. What happens is put yourself in a position where you say, look, I'm doing this because this is from my heart. This is what I want people to receive from me, and if it comes back to me, it comes back to me. If it doesn't, it doesn't, so that way you're not setting yourself up for a situation where you're all disappointed and you're all mad and upset because people didn't reciprocate what you give. Because the reality is, a lot of times in life, we're not going to receive back what we give to people, and not to everybody. And for those folks that do give back to us, and for those folks that do appreciate us, you hold them in high esteem. You put them maybe not on a pedestal, but you honor them and respect them and love them, because sometimes it's really far and few in between when folks actually hold it down for you and give you back what it is that you gave them. Those are precious people. Those are gems. Those are people that you hold dear. Those are people that you love, that you support, that you pray for. And as for those folks that don't support you in return, you just remember that we have people in our lives for reasons, for seasons, for lessons, for blessings. You just got to figure out which one, those particular folks are in your life. Because I have people that I do stuff for, and they don't return it. There's been people who did things for me and I didn't return it. Maybe I was more ignorant back then. But, with that, I'm just saying, remember and make sure that it's coming from the heart. Granny Monster says, I think those folks who are most respected starts with self-respect too. Exactly. I agree with Granny Monster. You want to have respect for yourself. You want to come from a place where, you know what, you're not worrying about whether or not others, give you a certain amount of respect, or, or they appreciate you in a certain way. You treat yourself a certain way. George Roman, what part do you want me to say again? You talking to me or you talking to Granny Monster? I just had to sip that tea because I was talking a little too much. And on that note, I'm not going to keep you folks too long because I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in. That's just my thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, reshare. You have the respect of Rodney Dangerfield. Nah, you got more respect than you know. Appreciate you, Cheryl, Granny Monster, Llama Monster, Just Us, Melanie, everybody for coming in. I got to be out of here. I got some things I got to take care of. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Thank you for coming by.